Hi everyone, welcome to the February 2024 update at Farsight. Now it's still early in the new year and 2024 is going to be big and we have huge things to announce. Here's a quick summary of what's happening at Farsight this month. I'm Courtney Brown, Director of Farsight, where we study the subject of remote viewing widely applied, where all data are collected under totally blind and scientifically defendable conditions. We also have an interest in things that are extraterrestrial, such as UFOs and ET activities. So here is the big news for February. First, our two big mysteries projects. At the end of the first week in February, we are releasing Galactic Mysteries, and the title of that project is Lacerta, the Reptilian Lady. You see, it has been said that back in December of 1999, a guy was introduced by a friend to a reptilian female, a subject who most of you would call an extraterrestrial, but technically, since she was born here on Earth, which is a long story, she's an Earthling. The meeting happened in Sweden. Now, the guy is named Ole. Now, Ole was skeptical at first, but once he met the lady in a remote location, he was convinced. There were two such meetings, and Ole took extensive notes which were published freely all over the internet back in the day. Well, we at Farsight wanted to see if the meeting really took place, or if it was a scam. So we conducted a remote viewing project focusing on the actual meeting. Well, we got more than we expected for sure. Spoiler alert, the meetings really did take place. But we got much more than that. That reptilian lady saw us coming, and some of this stuff you just have to see for yourself. All recorded live on video. Ended the first week in February 2024 on farsightprime.com. Be there. You will really want to see this one, and that is an understatement. Now, our Earth Mysteries project will be released about a week later in mid-February, and that project is titled The Collaborators. You see, the UAP UFO disclosure news is picking up a lot, and you can expect 2024 to be filled with disclosure information, especially in the US Congress. And we are already seeing the ETs who we call the bad ETs trying to control the narrative that will emerge from the disclosure content when it hits full steam. Mostly, they are trying to present a narrative that there are no bad ETs, and all of the nefarious stuff that the bad ETs have been doing have been done by rogue units of the US government who had no oversight. And this includes a great many human trafficking activities. So information will be made to look like disclosure information coming from seemingly trustworthy sources so that people will want to believe it. And some of it will be real, facts mixed in with fiction, but it will all lead to a very false conclusion, one that will keep the masses in the deep dark as to what has been really going on for thousands of years. Well, one of the purposes of all that is also to protect the US collaborators, who are real humans who have been working with the bad ETs in exchange for help reverse engineering some ET tech obtained from crashed ships. Now, these US collaborators are a combination of military people, politicians, and scientists. Now, if the blame for all of the bad stuff that has been going on can be piled onto rogue military units that had no oversight, then everyone who has really been doing bad stuff to cover up the activities of the bad ETs can get away with it and not get caught. So, our new Farsight project, The Collaborators, specifically targets two of the major collaborators who either wittingly or unwittingly acted to help the bad ETs keep their activities secret. We want to say wittingly or unwittingly because we don't know how much the collaborators are told of the activities of the bad ETs and whether the collaborators actually believed what they are being told. Maybe they think that help with reverse engineering the ET tech is worth it for the country. Well, we want to know if those human collaborators get any special treatment in this prison planet, especially after they die. Do they just get processed in the death traps like everyone else, or do the bad ETs rescue them at the last minute and reward them in some way? Well, we found out, and you will find out also in mid-February 2024. You will want to know what happens to them. This is big. The collaborators. Now, it is natural for people to ask if Farsight officially represents the group of extraterrestrials who we call the good ETs, which is the group who has been working directly with us since the beginning of Farsight in the 1990s. So I thought I should address this issue. And the answer is no. We do not officially represent anyone except ourselves. And this is important to state. You see, there are so many people out there who claim to represent some ET group or person. It's become high theater, as evidenced by the grand-sounding names that the ET groups and people are given. What's worse is that the bad ETs typically take advantage of this by feeding very manipulative information through those people. Well, if we claimed that we officially represent the good ETs, then we would all be thrown in with all of that, and our data-driven message would be lost. Our data-driven message would be lost. So we must stick with the facts, and only the facts. As I said, Farsight is data-driven. But we obviously do have factual information relating to the ET presence here on Earth. However, it is not information that is being fed to us. We are going out and collecting the data all by ourselves. And we show you our raw data. Everything is theoretically replicable. All of our data are collected under scientifically clean, totally blind conditions using the world's best data collectors, remote viewers who use publicly available methodologies. We show you everything that we do. We do not ask you to trust us and then lead you somewhere. We show you the data, tell you how we collected the data, and then let you decide for yourself. And if you are one of those incorrigible skeptics who doesn't want to believe anything, we show you how we do it so that if you don't believe anything we do, then you can do it yourself and convince yourself by doing it. We even encourage debates in our forums on farsightprime.com, as well as on YouTube, so that trusting us with any particular conclusion is not necessary. We believe in your ability to see the facts for yourself and to come to your own conclusions. This is very different from the he said, she said information that is so common in the disclosure field, where someone tells you that someone told them something. Honestly, you can't get totally honest he said, she said information anywhere. Always there is manipulation, disinformation, and outright lies mixed in with all of it. This is not a criticism of the humans who get the information. Those people are specifically chosen by the bad ETs based on how sincere they appear. They are great people, quite a bit too gullible in my opinion, but nonetheless great people. And when they tell you what they have been told, they sound totally trustworthy, and that is the point. Can't you see how cleverly this is being orchestrated? So what about Farsight? Well, most of you have seen or heard about the recent congressional hearings happening in Washington, D.C. You can be sure that more of that is coming soon. It would really be great if the U.S. Congress asked me or other Farsight people to testify under oath in congressional hearings. We would do it if we are asked. But first, we have to openly state that we do not speak for our side of the ETs. We are just people who have worked with them. We can only talk about our own experiences. Second, Congress has to get past the logjam of recognizing that the UAPs or UFOs are real. Once they do that, and once they recognize that the ETs are real, then it makes sense that they would want to speak with these ETs in some way, shape, or form. If the good ETs simply showed up in their ships, there would be a shooting war with the bad ETs. So, that cannot happen. If they simply walked through the front door of the U.S. Congress, how could they prove that they are really good ETs, or even real extraterrestrials? Well, if they did that by sending people who do not look like humans, how could they prove that it is not a job of a clever makeup artist? So the first people to speak before the U.S. Congress to give this side of the story of the good ETs will need to be normal humans who were born and raised right here on Earth. We are not the chosen representatives of those ETs. We are just people who have done lots of stuff with the good ATs, stuff which is all verifiable in one way, shape, or form. The U.S. military has watched absolutely everything that we have done, so that Congress could get verification from them if they asked the right people. They would have to be sure not to ask those who collaborate with the bad ETs, of course, so finding the right people to ask is an issue. Ultimately, people would need to insist that the U.S. Congress include people like us in their hearings. There would need to be pressure from the public, constituent pressure, and that is where you guys come in. If you want to hear us tell our side of the story to the U.S. Congress in congressional hearings, you need to help make that happen by contacting Congress people, including your own representatives, and telling them to do that. That would put disclosure on an entirely different level. It would no longer be about whether the UFOs are real. Rather, it would be about what the extraterrestrials have been doing all these thousands of years. That would be a game changer. The current set of congressional whistleblowers are doing a great job in terms of getting the ball rolling, and we applaud their efforts. But even those whistleblowers who have first-hand knowledge suffer from compartmentalization. They only know what they know. Eventually, people have to hear the full story of what has been going on up there. What is the bottom line? What is the big picture? We at Farsight have a lot to say about that. To get us included in those hearings, we could use your help. Moving on, remember our Deep News project that is released with multiple episodes each month. Now, in January, we started to release results related to the current political situation in the United States. In particular, we released a session on Joe Biden. We wanted to know how his mind worked and if he is being managed or manipulated. And to do this, we needed to focus on a particular issue. So we strategically targeted what he thought about the UAP or UFO disclosure stuff that is coming out of the Congress these days. We figured that would be a good example of an issue in which outside pressure might be applied on Joe Biden, both now and during his party's national nominating convention. In February, we will release more sessions dealing with that. Plus, we did the exact same thing with Donald Trump. All of our data are collected by the most highly trained remote viewers on the planet under totally blind conditions, data that you can never find in the mainstream media. At Farsight, you get the deep news. We release the deep news sessions on both farsightprime.com as well as YouTube, so stay tuned. We also just released the last Farsight intelligence briefing in late January. What comes next? If you have not yet seen it, you can find it on farsightprime.com, and in that briefing I go over ways to identify information originating from the bad ETs. Want to know how to do that? Watch the January intelligence briefing. Also, I will have the next Farsight intelligence briefing in late February, and it will be live streamed as always on YouTube with the permanent recording placed on farsightprime.com. Now we have some Instagram news. We are starting to utilize the Farsight Prime Instagram page to post short videos less than a minute long of some of our projects, including our deep news projects and lots of other stuff. These types of videos are called shorts. Now, I have often encouraged our audience to follow my personal Instagram page, Courtney Brown Farsight, to see UFO footage that we take with our own Farsight cameras. But now it is worthwhile to also follow our other Instagram page, Farsight Prime, to see these intriguing shorts of our remote viewing content. Instagram is free and really convenient since it is on your phone. Again, my personal Instagram page for UFO footage that we take with our own cameras, Courtney Brown Farsight, all one word. And also the Farsight Prime Instagram page, Farsight Prime, all one word, where you can find lots of great shorts of our remote viewing content. Moving on, remember that we have a huge instructional and educational effort here at Farsight. We want people to know how to do everything that we do, especially remote viewing. We are not going to change the planet all by ourselves, a few people doing amazing things with remote viewing. Rather, we aim to train a large number of Farsight certified instructors who are going to teach remote viewing everywhere to millions of people. We have defined our courses that lead up to this on our website, farsight.org. We are also listing our Farsight certified instructors who are teaching these classes, and the list will grow as more people obtain certification. The Farsight instructors are doing this all on their own. Farsight does not get any financial benefit from their activities. And that is how we plan on doing things with new instructors who achieve the educational and certification goals from Farsight. We want people to make money teaching our version of remote viewing. That will be the only way that the knowledge of remote viewing will spread far and wide. Also, nowhere can you get anything close to our huge library of free printed instructional materials available on farsight.org, as well as our instructional videos, which are available on farsightprime.com to all of our paying subscribers. We are also adding new instructional videos up regularly, so now is the time to learn how to do this. We also want people to be able to work as paid remote viewers doing projects that they or others create. We are going to be announcing lots of new instructional stuff in an ongoing basis, so keep glued to Farsight. Start by going to our website, farsight.org, and near the top of the navigation bar on the left, you will see a link for remote viewing courses. Farsight is totally transparent. We have lots of public projects that you can watch to see what we do. And then we teach you how to do what we do. And that includes everything, from making videos of UFOs to doing and even teaching remote viewing. You can't get this anywhere else. And our streaming service, farsightprime.com, is the best anywhere, totally equivalent on a tactical level with any of the best streaming services available today. Farsight is first class from top to bottom, so when you follow our stuff, you are engaging with the best. We are continuing to post our new YouTube content on Rumble as a backup, just in case. In this day and age of increasing censorship and cancel culture, we really have no choice but to prepare for the worst, just in case. So please follow us on rumble.com as well, again, just in case. You can find the Rumble link for us in the YouTube description area below this video, and you can also find us on Rumble by searching for Farsight Institute. And remember that you have to include the word Institute. So with our own streaming service, farsightprime.com, plus our YouTube backup on Rumble, we can stay connected with you no matter what happens in the future. Be patient as we get more content up on Rumble. And for those of you who are interested in cryptocurrencies, we continue to publish new 5-year Sequel Plus forecasts. Cryptocurrencies are starting to rise again in a very serious way, and we still think cryptocurrencies will be huge in the future. The identities of those cryptocurrencies are not revealed in our forecast, and those who want to find out more about our Sequel Plus forecast and to purchase the identities for all of our Sequel Plus forecasts, plus our future Sequel Plus forecasts, can do so on our website, farsight.org. We are currently extending our Sequel Plus project to at least the end of the year 2024. And we are also starting to repeat some Sequel Plus forecasts so that we can get additional data on those currencies which we have already done, which helpfully extends the forecast further into the future. The way we see it, companies simply will not want to see governments controlling the money supply forever. Governments are just too corrupt. Businesses want stability above all things, and blockchain is the future. And of course, Farsight is interested in the future. And I must remind all of you that no one at Farsight is a licensed financial advisor. So anything that anyone at Farsight does that relates to using remote viewing to predict financial or economic outcomes of any type, including the performance and or selling prices of cryptocurrencies, stocks, commodities, or anything else, is done for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everyone doing investments are doing so at their own risk. These are experiments in remote viewing, and there are no guarantees or warranties being made, either expressed or implied. Nonetheless, these efforts are truly interesting on a grand scale, and we at Farsight believe that after we do this for a while, it will be hard for anyone to ignore the reality of remote viewing. So, how do you hear about all of our activities that we do at Farsight so you can participate and get the latest when they happen, including our live streams? Well, to start with, we use our email list and YouTube to make our major event announcements. So there are a few things you need to do. First, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel and remember to click on the notifications bell that appears after you subscribe. That is the only way YouTube will notify you of the new events, especially our live stream events. Just subscribing doesn't do anything. The notifications bell is the important part. But that only notifies you of things that we release on YouTube. To be notified about the things that we release on FarsightPrime.com, which you can watch using our Apple and Android apps and on the web, and on your home TV, you need to subscribe to our free email newsletter found on our website, Farsight.org. You can also allow our apps to notify you of our new releases on FarsightPrime.com. Be sure to do all three things. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Farsight, and remember to click on the notifications bell, and then subscribe to our free email newsletter that you can find on our website, Farsight.org. And finally, go to the settings of our app and allow it to give you notifications of our new releases on FarsightPrime.com. Also, check to make sure that your email program isn't putting our newsletter into your junk, spam, or promotions folder. Some email programs are really aggressive in doing that, and it's worth giving it a check. And if your email program insists on putting our newsletter into your promotions folder, please check regularly with that folder to make sure that you get our updates. The links for YouTube and our newsletter are in the description area below this video, and the app is, well, it's on your phone. Those are how we announce what we do. We never send out spam, and we never give our subscriber list to anyone else for any purpose. Well, that is it for the February 2024 update on what is going on at Farsight. Stick with us in these changing times, and we will always stick with you. What you get from Farsight, you can get absolutely nowhere else. Stay ahead of the curve. Let the mainstream fade in the dust. Be there now. I'm Courtney Brown, Director of Farsight.